Alright, so like I promised, I'm gonna be back to my channel now. I had 2 years and a bit off. I posted like one documentary video and just random stuff here and there, but I wasn't really like, posting. So now that I'm using psychedelics again, I have stuff to actually talk about. So I'm gonna restart this channel, and I actually have other plans too that I kind of want to get into. But if you guys want to jump to the trip report, just skip to the time stamp or whatever that I give you, and then you can get that going. So I'm just going to kind of give a rundown of basically what was going on. So for 2.5 years, I was sober. I didn't have any weed or psychedelics. I ended up slowly. I ended up getting into weed again. Basically, like I had really bad OCD symptoms starting to pop up again, and I actually found out that it was weed that was actually treating my OCD symptoms, and that's what I've been doing all throughout my life. So I've always been stable and didn't realize that. So for me to be stable, I think it's better for me to actually just be on weed. But since I started doing that again, I was like, hey, you know, I might have the, I guess, the mental capacity to actually do other more intense psychedelics and possibly not, you know, have bad experiences or have it negatively affect my mental state or, you know, just OCD and all that stuff. So I, after experiment, or not really experiment, but after getting weed into my, I guess, diet, because it's like an everyday thing for me. I smoke shatter. I don't smoke weed, like the actual flower, just because it's too harsh smoke for me. I like smoking just the extracts. Yeah, so I moved it up a notch with MDMA at a rave that my buddy was spinning at, or he threw the party too. So he's been throwing a lot of these parties in like Montreal and Nova Scotia and stuff. So I was just doing like a bunch of lines of the MDMA, having a really good time, and so that was my kind of getting my feet wet into more kind of mind altering type chemicals. And then the next thing that I did to bump it up even further was like probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, I did LSD, and this was just 130 milligrams. I was watching Across the Spider-Verse, and yeah, the movie's insane. Like it's one of a really amazing movie, but just on acid, like the visuals were really impressive. Since my tolerance was non-existent for any type of psychedelics, and it's been a while, the experience was pretty powerful for just being 130. Well, I think 130 milligrams is actually like a pretty high dose. Well, not high dose, but it's like a common dose. I think the high doses are in the like 200 plus, but like 150 is definitely is teetering between like common to heavy dose, I believe. I can show you guys the Irowid dosing stuff just to give you an idea, compared to something like 4-ACO-DMT. And also, like, I'll get into what I think about the intensity versus the actual dose, because I think that LSD is like, on a dose comparison base, it's kind of like a weaker substance compared to the other more simple tryptamines like psilocybin and 4-ACO-DMT. And that's why I want to explore those, and that's why I'm kind of getting my feet wet with LSD so that I can, you know, jump to those higher ones. So yeah, so the experience that I had with 130 milligrams of the 1P-LSD, it was mentally very, you know, powerful. I was having, you know, a bit of a challenging mental state. It wasn't that challenging, to be honest. It was just the most challenging part was just being new, or new-ish to me, because it's been like 2.5 years. So I was just getting kind of accustomed to it again. But once I got accustomed, it was very kind of smooth sailing. And then yeah, the actual visual quality, it was good open-eye visuals, like obviously the brightening of lights and everything. But the closed-eye visuals, I was expecting to see more geometric patterning. It was more faces and stuff, typical type of pareidolia effects, but no really intricate geometry, which was what I was kind of looking for. And part of the reason why I want to start dabbling with the simpler tryptamines too. So when I took the 150 milligrams, it was a bit more powerful, obviously. I was more accustomed. This was just 6 days later, so I didn't really have much of a tolerance break or whatever. But I'm not really sure I have too much of a tolerance with psychedelics anyways. So this trip was more powerful. I found that the visual geometry, like the closed eye visuals, were a bit more intricate. So that was a nice surprise for me. But I want it to be a lot more intricate. Like I want to be able to have entity contact and be able to have out-of-body experiences. So that's why I want to have I want to be able to move myself up to having 4-ACO DMT experiences, and that's what I'm kind of hoping to have an experience with tonight. But yeah, that trip, the last one that I take of the 1P-LSD, it didn't get me to where I want to go, and that's why I'm trying to do the simple tryptamines now, because I kind of want to push to that actual pedal to the metal kind of environment. So I think I'll get there. One last thing that I want to touch on is the DMT extended state DMT stuff that they're doing. I think it's with Andrew Gallimore and Rick Strassman. I actually want to make a bit of a documentary on my ideas about this and what I kind of think of it, because I'm actually wanting to do something like that with this channel. But because I've already been doing that, I've already been kind of trying to get information out of the DMT experience, but I want to do it in my own specific way, because I know they have their own specific IV being able to kind of dial it, but I don't really necessarily think that, like, if you want to get information out of it, then I don't necessarily think you really need that. I think just being able to smoke it is fine. Like, all you really need is you need someone that is able to kind of grab the visual information out of it, because I'm more kind of drawn to the work with basically showing the hyperbolic geometry of the DMT experience, and I kind of want to get that kind of visual. I want to be able to draw to actually experience those visual information and be able to bring it back into this world just through drawing it, trying to remember it. Because that's what I was doing when I was younger, and that's what I was kind of been building this channel towards, is that kind of research. And I think it's, I'm in a very I'm in a very privileged spot where I have the opportunity to do this, and other people don't necessarily have the opportunity to. And there's a lot of potential discoveries to be made about this, because it's a new area. Not many people know how to kind of drag information out of that, kind of like how I remember in the Freddy Krueger movies, they were able to kind of grab the I think it was his hat, Freddy Krueger's hat, out of the dream, and I think that's kind of the metaphor that I'm going here, is like, I want to be able to pull something out of the DMT experience just through, remembering it and being able to draw that information. So whether it's specific geometric tiling, or anything that can give us more information about what exactly is going on in these altered states of consciousness, that can basically give us more clues about what it means to consciousness. Like, what is it, and could it confirm more ideas that we have about these certain things? There's a lot of mysteries, and there's a lot of stuff to uncover. So I think it was a fool's thing for me to kind of step away from this, because I didn't really know that I'm at the forefront of a very, interesting, I guess, research, for lack of a better word. But yeah, that's about it. I'm going to be making those documentary videos to kind of just get my ideas out. But this is kind of just an introduction to all that stuff that I'm going to be getting into, but it'll be fun. I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to probably end up like tripping pretty often, because I'm kind of making up for lost time. But mainly I just want to get I want to get back up to speed to being able to kind of submerge myself into more deeper spaces. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys stick around, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.